Hello and welcome to the Cranky Old Gamer. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a game based on a game that's a sequel to another game. We're talking, of course, about Bioshock Infinite: Siege of Columbia. Now, if there's one thing that I hate, it's a cheap cash grab. If there's one thing I hate even more, it's a cheap cash grab of something I love. I love Bioshock. You can see right behind me, right here, this is my Big Daddy and Little Sister Funko Pops. I love Bioshock. Some of you have seen my Elder Scrolls tattoo. I've also wanted to get a tattoo of Bioshock, probably a Big Daddy. And I loved Infinite as well. I don't love it as much as I love the original, but it holds a very special place to my heart. So I was really wary about this because there have been a lot of board games based on video games that were not very good. There were some that are decent. The Gears of War is surprisingly good. I've heard mixed on Portal. I have not played it, but I was worried. I really was. And then I bought it like a year and a half ago on a flash sale for $10. So I'm like, all right, yeah, so I can't go wrong. Then I read the rules. I misread the rules. I thought for as elaborate a game as this is, and it is pretty elaborate as far as like the pieces and all that, I thought it was only a 2-player game. It says 2 to 4, but I thought to myself, well, you're playing the Vox Populi versus the Founders. That's only 2 armies, so you just get 2 people controlling the same pieces on the board? That's cheap. That doesn't sound fun. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. This game is phenomenal. It is a very well done area control game, very solid mechanics, very challenging, very fun, and it does add a bit of Bioshock Infinite flair to it. You've got 2 factions, that much is true, but when you're playing a 4-person game, your partner has their own deck of cards, their own army. They're split up into the Founders are blue and dark blue, and the Vox Populi are red and dark red. You are not sharing anything. You're sharing points in terms of like if dark red controls an area and red controls an area, it's all owned by the Vox. But if dark blue puts its armies on one location, light blue is not short any armies. They just use their own. And that was a huge relief. The only downside to that, you can't play 3. Okay, fine. It is 2 or 4. It is not 2 to 4. If you've ever played an area control game, there's not going to be a whole lot new here for you. There are 15 locations on a beautiful board, and you go around, you try to put as many pieces there. You've got soldiers, you've got handymen, you've got turrets, you've got all kinds of things at your disposal that you can use to control that area. Different units give you different colors of dice. Now, if you can see here, you've got white, red, and blue. The gold ones are for something else. White, red, and blue. Whites go up to 4, blue goes up to 6, red goes up to 8. So they all depend on your power, and whoever rolls the highest wins that battle. Again, pretty typical area control stuff, but still very smoothly done, very well done. What sets this game apart is that there are a lot of elements of chaos to it, but not necessarily random chaos. There are things that can be controlled. You have cards. You can use vigors, which is really cool. There are different game sets for timelines. There's actually 3 different timelines for the game because of Liz's ability. You have different powers, and I really like that about the game. It kind of makes it its own. It feels like Bioshock Infinite. That's what really made it. You've got airships, you've got Songbird. It feels like Bioshock Infinite. You do not get to play Booker or Liz, and that is the best mechanic in the game. Booker and Liz are in the game. They have their own miniatures. Nobody controls them. They are controlled randomly by cards and dice. They are a little ball of chaos wrecking the board. You never know who they're going to attack, if they're going to attack, where they're going to be. All of the areas are connected by Skyrail, and Booker and Liz will randomly move across the board. Sometimes they'll wreck your shit. Sometimes they'll wreck your opponent's shit. And hey, cool. You can fight Booker and you can kill Booker. If so, you can take control of Liz, and she gives you really strong powers. But Booker respawns, and Booker will come for you. If you have control of Liz and Booker comes after you, you're screwed. Unless you have some amazing power in one area, Booker will ruin your day. However, again, Booker can also ruin your opponent's day, so I really like the Booker and Liz mechanic. Because Booker and Liz, they just want to get the hell out of there. They want to get out of the city. And I really like the mechanic. It was a lot of fun. So one of the things I did mention is how beautiful the map is. So let's go ahead and take a look at the components. And so here we have all of the game's components, of which there are a lot. This game, as you can see over here, has tokens for days. Here is the map, and this is a beautiful map. Really captures the art style of the game, does really, really well. You've got 15 different locations that are all locations from the game, the video game, if you would recognize. You've got Battleship Bay, Monument Island, Order of the Raven, the Town Center, Bank of the Prophet, the Lutece Laboratory, Fink Manufacturing, all places you do visit throughout the video game, so it's really cool to be able to take control of those areas. Down here, you'll see 3 wanted cards. You choose one of these, and they are very large, as you can see. You choose one at random, and they are the Elizabeth timeline. The timeline of the game will drastically affect how the game itself plays out. It changes power in a lot of hands. Up here, I have all of the cards from the game. First, you have your victory cards. You can draw these, and they are your victory point conditions. Here, you get a victory point if your faction controls 6 locations. If you control 4 locations with structures on them, you get 1 victory point. If your faction controls territory A and B and has at least 1 stronghold on location, you get 2. Things like that. And strongholds and buildings and things like that will make sense once you play the game. And here you have the vote cards. Pretty artwork of Booker and Liz on the back. What these are is when it comes time for a vote, you use all of your power on the board to vote for different issues. Each player may place 3 common units on a single space they control without paying the cost. For the remainder of this round, players cannot use the skyline to move units Songbird and Airship. Oh, sorry, I misread that. Players cannot use the skyline to move units, period. Songbird and Airship can still move. Okay, so again, you vote, and whoever has the most power wins that vote. And then here you have your hero cards. The Vox Populi's heroes, Daisy Fitzroy, Owen McKenna, Cornelius Slate, Meyer Herzog. They are more expensive units. The founders have Zachary Comstock, Jeremiah Fink, Henry Saltonstall, Esther Mailer, all characters from the game. And again, now these are your general gameplay cards. You will see there's a light red and a dark red. There's also a light blue and a dark blue. These are your powers and abilities: Murder of Crows, your guys like Shotgunner, Rebel, Flakman, Handyman. Founders have basically the same units, a couple difference. I think the founders are the only ones with the Boys of Silence. Founders have Songbird, while the Vox Populi have the Airship. I'm not going to get into the tokens over here, just know that there are a lot. I want to say this game came with like 5 punch boards worth of tokens. And last but certainly not least, the miniatures are very, very tiny. They are itty bitty little things. Let's see if I can focus on this guy. They are tiny, but pretty well detailed. You've got Flakmen for the blue. And as you can see, again, I keep pointing this out, 2 different armies. Oops, I only grabbed. Here we go. You got, it won't focus, too close. There we go. Your Vox Populi guys. Songbird, much bigger, character from the game if you have not played. He is a giant, semi-mechanical, he's hard to explain, but he is a giant steampunk humanoid bird, Wolverine hybrid. that you're never sure until the end whether he's a good guy or bad guy. I won't spoil that. And the Vox Populi have an airship, which is always pretty cool. You got your heroes, which I actually kind of like. If you've played the game, if you know who they are, you can identify this as Zachary Comstock and this as Daisy Fitzroy, which is cool. They have a little star base, so you know that they're heroes. I don't remember who these two are, but you can see he's got a skyhook. That's cool. And then you got Booker and Liz. These are very, very identifiable as Booker and Liz. Booker's got his, let's see if I can zoom in enough. He's got his skyhook here. He's got his gun. He's got his little vest. And Liz has her signature dress. You can even make out the whale boning on her corset and her little jackety thing. So very cool. For being very, very tiny miniatures, you know, they're meant to go on the board. I don't know, for being so small, they're very well detailed. And of course, as I showed earlier, we have our dice. Not going to take them out of the bag, but you can see these are for Booker and Liz. And then you've got white that goes up to 0 to 4. You've got blue that is, was it 2 to 6? And then red goes 4 to 8. So obviously red is more powerful. And there you go. There's the components for Bioshock. So there you have the components. As you can see, they spared no expense on this. There's nothing cheaply made about this. I was really impressed with the presentation of this game. I also really like the first player token is, let me pick it up, enormous. It's like, that's huge. If you're a fan of Bioshock Infinite, this game will not disappoint, I guarantee it. If you're a fan of area control games, this game is very well done. If you're a fan of board games, I can't find a flaw. I really can't. It's just a really well-crafted game. The rules all work together. Some people may not like the chaos of Booker and Liz, and that I understand, but it's incredibly important to the theme, because in the game you're playing as Booker and Liz while these two huge warring factions are duking it out around you, where now you're playing these two warring factions while these two little bastards are running around messing your stuff up. So it's very important to the game, and especially because it's manageable chaos. You can kind of guide and control Booker and Liz, but so can your opponent. So you've got this ball of chaos jumping all over the place, boing, 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 and you can kind of go, nope, go that way, nope, go that way. Or your opponent can go, nope, go that way, and you're like, ah! So yeah, I would definitely pick this one up. It goes on sale a lot, but honestly, this game is worth it at full price. I'm glad I picked it up as cheap as I did, but now that I've played it, it is worth picking up at full price. So yeah, give it a shot, check it out. All right, guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have had a good time. Once again, please do check out my website, thecrankyoldgamer.com. I have started adding more stuff to it. I want to keep up going with the content. Please also check out my Instagram. I am on there all the time, posting all kinds of stuff, board game related and not. And if you like what you see and you want to help support my channel, please consider checking out my Patreon. There's a link at the end of the credits. All right, guys, thank you all for watching. Once again, this has been Bioshock Infinite, The Siege of Columbia. See you later.